From your experience, is Battle of the Kings quite competitive?
It's mega competitive.
Can you tell me about image design and custom?
We've been going for 9 years now, and Harley Davidson were one of the first clients that we took on.
Yeah.
And really, it's sort of been it went from there. Really, they were our first main client.
Right.
Since then, we've built up a strong business. There's 7 of us now working in the custom business, and we have other clients as well as Harley Davidson, also Harley Davidson themselves, Harley Davidson Europe, Monster Energy, Red Bull. We do work for BMW and Ducati as well.
Yeah.
And across the board, there's no specific companies that we side towards. We're a custom paint business, and paint sticks to most things. So if it sticks, we tend to paint it. So.
Can you talk me through what you're doing at this moment?
Right, so now I'm attempting to line up where I'm going to put the logo.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it's going to sit flat to the bottom of the tank. So I'll just use a piece of masking tape to kind of sort of get the levels. So then I've got my logo.
Yeah.
I've put another piece of vinyl on the top so I can transfer it over. So we'll get that off. I'll sort of roughly put it where I sort of think looks best, basically. Sometimes it doesn't go on completely flat to start off with, because obviously you're working with curves and stuff, so you can't always push it down straight away.
Wow.
There, so that'll be our cream area masked off, ready to put the dark blue pin line on after.
Happy with that?
I think so.
Lucky enough to see behind the scenes with the tank being customised today. Can you just talk me through the process from start to finish?
Okay, yeah, I mean, so the process start to finish usually starts off, in this particular case it was at the dealership with Steve and the guys down there who are building the bike. So it could be that we just scribble out on a piece of paper how we want to start to make it look, and it is literally just a sketch.
Yeah.
Sometimes we might put it onto the computer, however there's not always that time that we have available, so we sort of bat off each other really, Steve and Shaw's and us, and just start creating a bit more of a mood board, let's call it.
Yeah.
So that's the initial bit for a design meeting. Sometimes it's a lot more complex, sometimes that is as simple as it gets, and here are the colours, here's some ideas, roll with it. And then from the base colours, like you've seen today, you're starting off on, in this particular case, like an off-white. We start to put on, well, Mandy's working on this project, so start to put on the fine lines, and a lot of it is laying up, probably like you've seen today, is laying up the design. Is it bigger, is it smaller, how's that going to work? And it's standing back a lot of the time and going, it's bigger, smaller. So even with a good sketch, even with a good computer mock-up, you're working with a 3D object at the end of the day. So it doesn't matter how many 2D pieces of paper you have, you always got to make it work on this 3D object, and that's quite a key part of doing custom painting.
And I guess you know, behind the scenes, people don't really see all the preparation that goes into doing a custom paint job from start to finish. And
Yeah.
how many hours has Beach Bobber for you guys from start to finish? You know, how many hours does it actually take?
It depends, obviously, on, you know, it's a little bit, you know, how long's a piece of string.
Yeah.
We're probably 70% through Beach Bobber at the moment. I haven't totaled up the hours. We have job sheets where we do total up the hours. So I wouldn't expect you'll get much change out of a week's worth of kind of solid work on this. Right. There's been some jobs in the past that we've done for Shores. We've been over 120 hours on one particular bike.
Wow.
Obviously a matte black Sportster with Harley Davidson down the sides is not going to be anywhere near that.
Yeah.
So it really does depend on the amount of filler fabrication that we have to do, and then how elaborate the design is. And as you've seen from the Beach Bobber, you know, there's kind of like Hawaiian hibiscus flowers, there's outlines, and there's fades, and you know, all of that stuff taken into consideration, you're probably looking at a good solid week at the moment. So, and I would say between 40 and 60 hours in total once you've polished it as well, and given it 2 hits of clear coat as well.
Fantastic. So one of my final questions is, you obviously, I was going to say represent, but you spray a couple of the dealership's bikes. Mm-hmm. Dare I ask, do any of them ask you what's Shores doing, what's Wars doing, what's Maidstone doing? I can imagine that temptation must be quite...
They did the first time round.
Yeah.
But they don't now, because in fear of me letting on to someone else what they're having done.
Yeah,
so it's
absolutely.
down to us to be professional about it, let's say. And so no, yes, you would think that they would, but they kind of steer away from it a little bit. So there's definitely no pictures going to either dealerships or anything like that. So it's a temptation that I think Shores or Wars or whoever, or Maidstone would like to know. But I think when they get to this stage, they've made their mind up. They know what they're doing. So it's kind of like, it doesn't really matter what anyone else is going to be doing. It's, you know, they've got their mindset on what they want their bike to look like. Yeah. And you know, I think for those guys as well, it's a little bit of an element of surprise watching what other people are putting up once it's all done. So
yeah,
I almost think they don't want to know sometimes. Yeah, but I wouldn't let them anyway.
Brilliant.
Welcome back to Shaw Harley Davidson and our Shaw Speed and Custom Workshop. Here it is, the 2017 Battle of the Kings 48. To us and to you, it's the BB48, the Beach Bobber 48. Something from obviously episode 1, chapter 1, where we talked about the inspirations, what we wanted the bike to do, what we wanted the bike to look like. We feel that we've basically got that now. We've finished it. 1 or 2 details left: shifter peg left, headlight assembly to come in, but almost ready to be photographed and to get out there in the public eye. Obviously, we're after your votes. We want people to get this to the top final, to be in the top 5, and to take the crown of the British champion, to go and fight the other nations and go to Cologne at the end of 2017 and represent Britain like that. So this is about the paintwork that's come out of a treat. It's what the vision was, the Beach Bobber, the Cruiser. I mean, this isn't about being inspired by scramblers. This isn't about being inspired by trackers or bobbers. This is about being inspired by fun. Putting the fun into 2 wheels, having something that's a joy to ride, a joy to own. It's not taken too seriously, and that's how we see ourselves. So the paint's flamboyant, it's colourful, it's got a beautiful design. We've brought in a wood element into it as well because of the inspirations and motivations from beach buggies, old American wagons. We just wanted to put those touches into the bike. So we've got this inflated tank, we've got the inflated wheels, we've got the stocky Rolling Sands bars with the Harley Davidson nostalgic grips. We've got our cheeky touch with the Battle of the Kings crown, So we found it on an aftermarket website. We went for it, and we think it works. It's fun again. Air filter, high performance air filter with the new Milwaukee 8 touring elements to it. So it's a much more stockier, blunt style air filter. There's a few things to do. Shifter peg's got to go on. Waiting for a headlight assembly to arrive. But overall, the bike has everything that we intended to have. It's fun, it's pumped, it's fat, and it's colourful. The stance of the bike is different because of the bigger tank that we've used, being an aftermarket one. The rear fender being bobbed and with a nice tip-up lip on the end. We've got the big tyres from Metzler on the front and rear. Well, I say big, we've got a stretch one on the front that gives it that big sort of hot rod dynamic. So overall, we are feeling confident that we've got a bike that will be appreciated by the audiences from what it's about, and we're ready now to have it photographed and get it out there and get it in the public eye and hopefully appreciated from all the work that was being put into it.